A lot of changes happen during the second half of life. Join Kash Mahmood, owner of Vargo Hospice and Home Health, and his guest as they explore topics to help you navigate the second half of your life. And now, here's Kash.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to Second Half of Life with me, Kash Mahmood. Our very special guest today is Shonah Jefferson with Chefs for Seniors. Today, we will be talking about providing specialized meals and nutrition services for seniors in and around the Houston area. Good morning, Shonah. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Kash. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. Well, I was thinking we dive right in. How about you tell us and our viewers a little bit about yourself and how you became the owner of Chefs for Seniors?
Okay. Well, I'm native Houstonian and fellow Longhorn Kash, so hook 'em horns. Um, and actually, Chefs for Seniors and being an owner of Chefs for Seniors is actually my third career. I finished from UT and went to work in corporate America. Worked for AT&T, and while I was working for AT&T, I went to law school, and so became a practicing lawyer in Georgia. Practiced there for about 11 years. And about 10 years ago, I was in a rut and I was living in Savannah at the time. And I noticed my parents were getting older. And I thought, well, I don't want to have to get on a plane if something happens to them, first and foremost. And second of all, I just wanted to be closer to them and enjoy them while they were still in good health. So I made the decision to really relocate back to Houston and just went through a process of kind of figuring out what I wanted to do. And I grew up in the restaurant business. So my dad bought his first restaurant when I was 2. And I started working for him when I was 11, drawing sodas and dropping French fries. And so all throughout middle school and high school, if I wanted to make extra money, I got an allowance. Anything over and above that, my dad would tell me, hey, I'll put you on the schedule. You want to go to work this weekend? So that's how I made extra money. And then I graduated from high school and I got a corporate internship. And I just said, I'm never going back to another restaurant again. So, but never say never. Life, you never know where life's going to lead you. And so when I moved back here, I convinced my dad to let me help him manage his restaurant while I tried to figure out what I wanted to do. At the time, I kind of had thoughts of actually expanding my legal practice and going into restaurant law. And then Providence intervened. So I was going to culinary school at night. And in 2015, actually, I was driving home and NPR did a segment on Chefs for Seniors. And I fell in love with the concept. And I mean, automatically, I said, oh, wow, this is what I want to do. Working in private homes, working with a group of people who really need the service. It's a way of doing well by doing good. But they weren't franchising yet. They were just in Wisconsin, Illinois, and Florida. So about every 6 months, I would just check their website just to see what was going on. I finished culinary school in December of 2017. And I checked their website again. It's probably May or June of 2018. I found out they were franchising. I filled out the form, went through the franchising process, bought the franchise in September, went to training in October, and I opened in November 2018. So it'll be 4 years in November.
Wow. That's an interesting story. And hats off to your dad, because restaurant business is not easy,
No.
Yeah,
It's not. He did it for 46 years and he loved it. He did it till the day he died, but for 46 years, he never worked a day in his life.
Wow. Yeah. No, it's a calling just like healthcare is. So excellent.
Yes, it is.
So just out of curiosity, as a home health care or a hospice provider, the families often worry about their loved ones getting the right nutrition. How important do you think right nutrition is for our seniors?
Oh, it is extremely important. I mean, food is medicine. And believe it or not, the statistic is somewhere between 40 to 60% of seniors that are admitted to emergency rooms here in the United States are malnourished. So it's a huge problem. And for a lot of seniors, it's that, well, first of all, as we age, our taste buds change. And so once people get to a certain age, food just doesn't taste the same. And so that can affect their willingness or even their desire to eat. Medications affect our taste buds, and that can affect their willingness and desire to eat. And then just after a while, after people have raised a family and they've cooked, especially women in particular, but sometimes it's men, they've been cooking for a family for 30 or 40 years and they're just tired. And they just, they just don't want to do it anymore, but they still need the appropriate nutrition. Some seniors are on special diets and they need help. So it's extremely important. And a lot of things that people think that, oh, I can just take a pill for that. If they just change their diet, they wouldn't have to take a pill for it. So it's extremely important.
Right. I agree. Well, no, and very well said. Nutrition is medicine. Very well said.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, some of our home healthcare patients have diabetes or heart
Mm-hmm.
conditions that require a special diet. In fact, we did a show about this, a couple of weeks ago. Can you help with that? And if so, how?
Yes, we definitely can. So we have a standard menu. There's over 90 items on our standard menu. And all of those items on that menu, I'd say most of them, if they're not already designated as being heart healthy or low sodium or diabetic friendly, my team of professional chefs can easily make substitutions and take a dish and make it heart healthy or diabetic friendly. Just to give you an example. So on our menu, we've got two options for shepherd's pie, for example.
Mm.
One option is more of your classic, your traditional shepherd's pie, made with white potatoes and ground beef. But then we have another option that's a turkey sweet potato shepherd's pie. So instead of white potatoes, it's made with sweet potatoes, which would be much better for people who are diabetics. And it's made with ground turkey instead of ground beef, which is going to be more heart healthy, and it's great for seniors who don't eat beef. So that just gives you an example of how how our menu is diverse enough to meet those health conditions. But then on top of it, what I've done for clients I have a couple that I cook for, and the husband is diabetic and he has kidney disease as well, but they wanted a shepherd's pie. So what I did is, in case you didn't know it, potatoes are very high in potassium. So what I did though is I replaced most of the white potatoes with cauliflower, and included a couple of white potatoes in there just so it would have that consistency, but basically made it a cauliflower shepherd's pie, which was perfect for his diabetes. He was getting the extra vegetables in from the cauliflower. It was lower in potassium. I used lean ground beef, and so it was perfect for him just by making those substitutions.
Wow. Wow. No, that shows the attention to detail for sure. So since you bring that up, just a follow-up question to that is when you have to care for an elderly couple that have different dietary needs, how do you work that and how do you plan for that?
So using that couple as an example, the wife is not diabetic. She does not have kidney disease. She takes a blood pressure medication, and she, has high cholesterol. But for her top priority was her husband when she hired me over 3 years ago to cook for them. She said, I want to focus on my husband because he's the most important thing. Then I can eat what he eats. And so that's what she did. But one of the things I did start doing for her, because she complained that the portions weren't quite big enough for her, she wanted more vegetables. So what I would do is I would prepare extra vegetables and package extra vegetables on the side for her. So she would have the additional vegetables. And then the other thing that I counseled her to do, because I was making his meals that they were low potassium, they were low sodium, which was perfect for her, the lower sodium. But what I told her to do is she needed to also monitor her potassium to make sure her potassium levels weren't too low. And then to supplement her meals by maybe eating some bananas or keeping some, avocados on hand, or if I needed to make some extra potatoes on the side for her, which are higher in potassium, just so she would not develop issues with potassium. So that's how we handle that couple. But then I have other couples where maybe it's not that they have different dietary needs. They just have different tastes. Like the wife loves broccoli and the husband hates broccoli. And so I have one couple, they're so cute. What they do is in our service, we provide 4 dishes. So they split the dishes. She picks 2 that she likes and he picks 2 that he likes. That's one way of doing it. The other way we do it is just we split up the vegetables. And so maybe if there's a dish, let's say we're preparing meatloaf and it's 4 servings. And let's say there's a starch and a vegetable. And one person likes green beans, the other likes broccoli. We just prepare 2 servings with broccoli and 2 servings with green beans. So our service is flexible enough to try and accommodate those couples who have different dietary needs. The one thing that is hardest to overcome is when one husband likes dark meat chicken and the wife likes white meat chicken. And when they pick a dish like chicken pot pie or chicken and dumplings, I have to go back to them and say, okay, guys, you got to choose, because it's either or in this case, as opposed to both. So what would you like us to do? But other than that, there are ways to tweak and make changes that work.
Mm. Yeah, no, I can relate to that completely. With me and my wife, I'm more on the spicy side. I like spicy, and she not so much. So, yeah, I completely understand. Shonah, water is extremely important for our seniors. I actually find that, even within us, sometimes, water intake is a challenge for us. What tips can you give our viewers about getting seniors to drink more water?
Okay, that's a great question, because hydration is a huge issue for seniors. And so, a couple of things that can be done. First of all, if we're dealing with a senior who just really truly has an aversion to, does not like the taste of water, it's just very hard to get them to drink water. Let's focus on the foods that they're eating to get them to eat more foods that have higher water content in them. So foods like watermelon and cucumbers, and there's other types of fruits that have a higher water content in them. So that's one way to make sure that a senior is maybe not necessarily drinking more water, but they're getting the hydration that they need, but they're getting it from food instead of water. Another way is to get seniors they can drink juices. So especially if they're not diabetic, they can drink fruit juices. And for those seniors who are diabetic, they can still drink fruit juice, but we just need to really closely monitor the serving size and how much of that they drink on a daily basis. The other thing is, nowadays there's so many different options to flavor water. So for seniors who just don't like the taste of water, but maybe they like drinking sodas or tea. Now, the sodas are not a good idea for a lot of seniors because of the acid, but then also for the dark colas, that's just not good for their kidneys. But if they're still wanting a refreshing beverage that has some taste to it, there's the different flavorings that we can add to water. So there's packets that we can buy of lemonade, and then there's actually the liquids that can be squirted into the water. And the great thing is they actually, a lot of them are sweetened with stevia. So that's a natural sweetener that will be healthy for diabetics. And then for other seniors who maybe want some flavor, just adding a twist of lime or a twist of lemon, or adding some fresh cucumbers to their water or fresh fruits to their water, just to give the water a different flavor. That's another way. And then, of course, making natural juices, using a juicer to make juices, or even preparing smoothies. That's another way to give seniors some additional hydration, at least.
Understood. So like home health care and hospice, your service provides families with an extra set of eyes on the patient. How important do you think it is to have providers checking in on homebound seniors?
Oh, it is so important. One of the biggest things that seniors struggle with is loneliness. In particular, homebound seniors who are not able to just, get in their car and drive and be able to go and see family members and see friends. And so it becomes extremely important for those seniors to have someone else, in addition, over and above their family members, who are there to call them, to visit with them, to check on them, and even to do that maybe above and beyond what we are hired to do, because it's all about um, making people feel special, to encouraging them and letting them know that they are still important, that they're still valued, and that just becomes so important. But then the other aspect of it, on the physical side of things, is, especially from the perspective of my service, is we're another set of eyes in the home as far as watching what seniors eat, monitoring their appetites. So it's a red flag when a senior stops eating, when we notice that their appetite shifts or their appetite changes. There could be some things going on with them medically. There could be some things even going on with them mentally or emotionally, because when people are dealing with depression or anxiety, that can affect their appetite. So just having that additional set of eyes in the home is just very important. And there may be some things that we're looking for, or that we see, that even for those seniors who have family members that are regularly visiting or even live with them, there may be things that we see that they don't pick up on, because they are just, when something becomes so familiar to you, sometimes there are things that you just don't see.
Right. You're absolutely right. And it is so important, because those changes, the earlier they're detected, the better, we can change plan of cares and stuff like that, and make the seniors get, comfortable.
Exactly.
Um, Tell our viewers how your services work from beginning to end. So when you get engaged, how do we go from that point onwards?
Okay. Well, usually people will reach out to me in one of two ways: because they have Googled us and found us online, or because someone like you, or their doctor, or their trainer, or a friend of the family has referred them to us. And so what I will do with clients is I will do a quick 15-minute phone intake with them, and then after that I will usually schedule an in-home consultation for those who really want that extra personal touch. I have some people that are very comfortable once we have that initial 15-minute consultation. They're like, okay, I'm ready to sign up. Can I do this online? Send me the forms. And so we do it online, and then I have a follow-up phone conversation with them, or I will make a visit to the home and spend about an hour with them, um, talking to them about their diet, taking a look at their kitchen, taking a look at their pantry, helping them select their first menu. And then from there, at that time, I will go ahead and schedule their first visit with the chef. So the client will have picked it's 4 dishes. And usually from those 4 dishes, they will end up with about 12 to 14 servings, 12 to 14 meals. And so at that point in time, the chef will go to the grocery store and purchase everything that they need to prepare those 4 dishes for the client. I provide all of my chefs with their own equipment. So they all have a kitchen, what I call a kitchen on wheels. And so clients don't have to worry about whether or not they have the right pots and pans or the knives or anything like that, because the chefs come fully equipped with that, along with their own spice kit. And so the chef will spend about 2.5 to 3 hours in the client's kitchen preparing the dishes, but also spending time chit chatting with the client, getting to know the client, not only asking them questions and getting to know them so they know more about their palate, but just getting to know them as a person. So the important thing about our service, and the reason why we are personal chefs as opposed to delivering meals, is going back to the previous question, being that additional set of eyes in the home and providing that companionship to seniors while we cook, also to help combat the loneliness that some seniors may be dealing with. So they look forward to their weekly or bi-weekly visit from their chef, because it's not only are they looking forward to getting some great healthy home cooked meals, but they're just looking forward to having some additional company. So the chef will prepare the dishes, portion them, label them, put them in the client's refrigerator, clean up the kitchen, and then all the client has to do is reheat and eat. And the only way the client knows that, hey, they've had a visit from their chef is they would have had some company, their house will smell really good, and their refrigerator will be full of food.
Well, Shonah, you provide amazing service. This is extremely good to hear. How does somebody get in touch with you?
Okay, so they can get in touch with me by a phone call. So my number is 832-956-1848, or they can go to my website, which is chefsforseniors.com/north-southeast-Houston. If they don't want to worry about all of that, they can just go to Chefs for Seniors and click on locations, and they can find me either by clicking on North Houston, or they can find me by clicking on Southeast Houston, Pearland. And that's how you can get in touch with me.
Excellent. Well, Shonah, this has been an amazing interview. I learned a lot, and I'm sure our viewers will too. And you're providing exceptional service, much, much needed in the community. Thank you so much for being a guest on our show.
Thank you, Kash. It's been great. And thank you so much for having me.